I don't know about you, but I actually love running the wheel strategy on quote unquote cheaper wheel strategy stocks. And in today's video, I'm going to show you my top 7. Yo, what's going on, premium chasers? I hope you're having a God blessed day. Every single person that drops a comment down below in today's video is going to get my 25 favorite Ark Options Strategy stocks completely for free. No strings attached. Just drop a comment. And while you're down there, do me a big favor. Hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. But today, I'm sharing with you guys my 7 favorite, quote unquote cheaper wheel strategy stocks that are all, are under $20 for the most part. So let's go over the shoulder. First and foremost, we have to talk about American Airlines. You guys know I love American Airlines. Not just as a company, but for obviously running the wheel strategy. Now, right now, obviously at the time you're recording this, American Airlines is running up, right? We are towards this top Bollinger Band area. We are well above our 200 and 300 day moving averages. And we usually know how this goes if you tune in here to the channel. Usually we will see a little rebound off of that top Bollinger Band into back towards the middle. Now, obviously, is it a guarantee? Absolutely not. But when we look historically, for example, over the past 6 months, we see us bouncing between the top and bottom Bollinger Bands. So with that said, let's go take a look at American Airlines options chain, and let's go take a look at what kind of premiums American Airlines, because what you're going to see, guys, today is that there is a wide range of premiums to be had out there, right? There's going to be the stocks that are a little bit more boring, that don't pay you an amazing premium, but they're a little bit more stable and honestly better fits for long term, as opposed to, the more high risk, high IV stocks, right, that really pay you a really risky amount of premium. Then you have to make those decisions for yourself. So I'm just going to go about 30 days out from here, and we'll play close to the money here. We'll open up this 14 contract. We're about a 30 delta, where I usually like to be with my quote-unquote cheaper stocks, usually between a 25 and 30 delta. I like getting assigned, guys. So, for me, even at 30% chance of assignment is, for the most part, pretty low risk, at least for me. And you can see right here, I would collect about, let's just say $40 between the bid and ask, about a $40 in premium on this specific contract. Let's go toss this into our cash secured put calculator. All my calculators are free, guys. If you want them, just attend the Ark Options Strategy workshop down below. It's the first link in the description. And at the very end, I give you all of my calculators and trade logs, all these completely for free. So we are locking up $1,400 here on this specific trade. And this is a fairly, really good return on collateral. And what is this? This is about 36 days out till our expiration, or 34 days out. A little longer than I usually like. I really don't go 45 days out or over 30 days out much anymore, unless I'm going after like the blue chips, where I kind of have to in order to even get like a decent return on my collateral. Obviously, results vary, not financial advice, guys. These trades or these premiums obviously will look different when you're looking at your options chain. But you could see the premium divided by the collateral gives us almost a 3% return on collateral, which is, in my opinion, a little bit more high risk, higher chance of assignment. And why? Well, because we are towards the top of the Bollinger Band, and for the most part, we are expecting a pullback on American Airlines in some fashion. Obviously, at close, this thing closed, over almost 3.5%. So do expect a little bit of a pullback on American Airlines. But with that said, still a fantastic company, in my personal opinion, for you to go take a look at. Next one I want to share with you guys has been a favorite of mine on the portfolio here on the channel that I share occasionally. And that is Snapchat. I actually have some puts in on Snapchat, which is really nice to see. 750s for me. And Snapchat is trading now nearly $8 a share, up 2% almost at close yesterday. Now, this thing has been pretty volatile, guys. But with that said, you could see on the chart here over the last 6 months I'm looking at, right, we are really just at the middle Bollinger Band area. We've been at this underneath it for a little bit of time now, for the past two weeks or so. And we are still below our 200 and 300 day moving averages. Now, obviously, Snapchat is a bit more volatile. So let's go take a look at the options chain, and you guys can see that and weigh those risks for yourself, right? The more volatile a stock is, obviously, the more premiums you are able to collect. We'll keep the same expiration date across the board, so we could take a look at these. And you could see, let's even play 750s. That's like one of the ones I like to go at. Pretty tight bid-ask spread. Just I'd say $23 of premium collected on that, and we are only wrapping up $750 in collateral. So over a 3% return on our collateral here. Obviously, a little bit more higher risk, but in my personal opinion, if you are just getting into the wheel strategy and learning all the ropes and stuff, I would say your best bet is to like go learn, like allocate like $1,000 and find like a cheaper stock that still is fundamentally sound for the most part, right? One that you actually believe in long term, because you can at least learn a lot along the way, right? Like for example, if you start wheeling Snapchat, say what you want about the fundamentals of the company, but if you wheel, use $1,000 on Snapchat, let's just say, right? You learn a lot because this thing can move pretty quickly. When I trade this, I'm getting in and out of positions, fairly quickly. And that is great experience for a new option seller to be able to buy to close their positions, learn how to roll their positions, when to get in, when to get out, mixing obviously the fundamentals of the company with the technicals, right? And you could see right here, for example, on like, let's say the 5th, you did some cash secured puts, right? Quite literally a couple days later, you would have been able to close that position out as we shot at that top Bollinger Band over the 200-day moving average. And then obviously have seen a retraction since, and now slowly starting to work our way back up. Next stock is a absolute favorite of mine. Also been on a bit of a tear here recently as well. And that is Ford, right? One of the top reasons that I really love Ford is because it pays a fantastic dividend. Us as option sellers, the biggest risks we carry is really we're going to be stuck holding a stock, right? And then what if we can't do covered calls on it because we got assigned at a really bad price, right? And the stock has yet to recover to a point that we can even do covered calls. That's a reality. It happens to everyone. Drop an amen in the comments. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's happened to, right? But with that said, trust me, it feels a little bit better when you collect a dividend along, when you're stuck holding a stock. Now, Ford, I do believe in this company long term. I haven't traded this in quite a bit of time. I think this thing has been really hot lately here, especially over the past 6 months. You can see we've crossed over our 200 and 300-day moving averages, and we are trading well above that now, around that $13 level. Premiums are okay on Ford. They're not going to be, insane right now. But again, this is a stock. Again, I usually like to play closer to of course, the 200 300-day moving averages, but closer to the money as well, because again, it's a cheaper stock. I'm trying to squeeze as much premium as I can. So taking a look at the 13 puts here, right? Again, bid-ask spread pretty tight here, 1670 obviously. So we'd collect about $16 of premium here on Ford, and we are locking up $1,300 here. So let me put 1,300, and we can see what that trade actually looks like. So you can see the return here is a lot less, right, on a stock like this. Okay. Actually, I didn't go out my expiration. My bad. Early morning. Let me get a sip of my coffee here, guys. That was looking a little sus to me for a second. I was like, wait, that seems a little too low. So this makes a lot more sense. Let's see. Okay. We've got about $37 of premium, right? We're collecting $37 of premium, locking up $13 on here, 37. So we're about close again to about that 3% return on our collateral. And usually, again, for me, when I'm doing these smaller stocks with smaller positions, I'm definitely a little bit more aggressive with it. But with that said, I do wait for the setup, right, guys? So I'm not just like gonna be like, for example, if I wanted to trade Ford right now, like I honestly wouldn't, because number one, it's well above the 200 and 300-day moving averages. It's right at its middle Bollinger Band. It's a 51 on the RSI. It's not a good setup for cash secured puts or covered calls right now, in my personal opinion. So like when I say I'm playing close to the money, that means like if I look over, let's say the past year, I'm playing close to the money. Like for example, on this drop, when it dropped to 11, I think this is probably the last time I did end up doing a trade on this, when I sold a cash secured put around this time. Let's say, right, I want to sell those puts when we're at the bottom Bollinger Band, because for the most part, it should see a bounce off of that. Okay, now obviously it's not a guarantee. No one knows what the stock market's going to do, but for the most part, as an option seller, and I'm going out 34 days, I usually am bracing for a bounce, considering, like I said, if I open up a put when it's right at that bottom Bollinger Band, I'm expecting within the next 30 days for it to bounce off that bottom Bollinger Band, and then I'll be able to buy to close my position out a lot sooner, as opposed to letting it go completely to expiration. All right, next stock is Conagra Brands, guys. This one I actually just got out of some puts on. I actually wanted to share an example with Conagra Brands here, because, so for example, guys, this is why it's important to monitor your positions when you can. I know, a lot of us have work, business, faith, family, fitness, all these other things that we'd rather be doing than staring at charts all day. So for me, when I'm trading, I always do my best to at least be checking at least 15 minutes a day on my active positions. But with that said, for example, with this one, Conagra Brands, like 2 weeks ago, I had 17 puts on this thing, and it was trading at like 17. I think it hit like 1780 or something like that. And when it hit that, I immediately just bought to close my position out. And thank goodness I did, because I actually had those puts expiring here, and I would have maybe even had to take assignment here. And I freed up my collateral about 20 days early. So I always recommend, buy to close your positions early, especially if you capture a tremendous amount of premium. And let's say you opened a put and then it shoots up, hits the top Bollinger Band, and within a day you're at like 50% profit on your collateral. Definitely would be wise for you to consider closing out that position, freeing up that collateral, and moving up into another position. Next stock is Upwork, guys. This is another one of my favorites, and I'll kind of lump two stocks into this one because I like both Upwork as well as Fiverr, and they both trade around that $20 level. As we're seeing here with Upwork, again, very much more of an overbought situation that we're seeing right here, expecting to bounce off the top Bollinger Band, but the stock has been hot. It's still well over the 200 and 300 day moving averages. I mean, if you love it, guys, the technicals don't matter. If you love the stock at 20 and you want to get into it, there's nothing wrong with doing puts weekly at 20 and trying to get assigned 100 shares. Nothing wrong with that, and then doing your covered calls. It's all about what thesis you put together. Me personally, I treat option selling like a business, so my goal is to actually make money with this stuff and get in, get out as soon as I possibly can, and lock in real tangible gains, not paper gains. I'm trying not to get stuck holding a stock long term. But with that said, these were the levels, if you started November, that would have been a lot better for selling those puts, because at least you would have been able to sell puts at the 200 and 300 day moving averages, right? If you're trying to sell a put at 15, which is like the 1510 to the 300 day moving average, you're not going to get any premium, right? Like you're just not going to get any premium at all. You're going to lock up $1,500 for like $5, which in my opinion, obviously I think we can all agree, locking up $1,500 for $5 is absolutely not worth it. And that's why I say you build out your watch list over time, because over time you'll be able to scan your watch list on a daily basis and see what setups you've got going on, right? If you're only selling options on like 5 stocks, yeah, sure, that's fine. But you're maybe not going to, there's going to be a lot of times where you're not going to be able to enter a trade when you maybe have the time to actually enter a trade, right? So I do recommend like building out your watch list over time, and that comes with time. That's the only thing that you can do, is over time you will develop a high conviction watch list. All right, next one obviously is Fiverr, a little bit outside our $20 budget. But this one is actually set up a bit nicer than Upwork. A little red here in pre-market, not that really matters. But you could see we are trading below 200 and 300 day moving averages, which is very, very nice, right? We're trading towards the middle Bollinger Band, just neutral basically on the RSI. So in my opinion, if I had to pick one between the other, between Upwork and Fiverr right now, I of course would sell puts on Fiverr at this current time, because I'm at least under the key moving averages of 200 and 300 days, right? That gives me a sense of security. I'm maybe purchasing and getting assigned at a price that is way better than the last 200 and 300 day averages that the stock was trading at. And then last company, guys, and this is one of my favorites recently, and that is Kenview. Kenview obviously was acquired by Kimberly-Clark, as you guys know, and you guys already know I love these dividend payers. I love stocks that have a tremendous amount of brands, and there has been a lot of fun riding this thing down here. I have not traded it in about the last 2 months, or really the last month or so, since it kind of recovered here towards its top Bollinger Band and started working towards its 200 and 300 day moving averages. But this thing was fun to kind of catch this fall here with the cash secured puts, and then pretty much all of them expiring completely worthless and never taking any sort of assignment. And that's, again, as you build your high conviction watch list, that's the kind of stuff that you're not going to be scared to do, right? You're not going to be scared to ride a company down, because you have a thesis around that specific company. And even if you take assignment, you believe, then you have the conviction that it is actually going to recover. Guys, if you want my full trade log template to keep yourself organized, you absolutely need it. Plus my premium calculators, click that first link in the description of today's video. It's a 90-minute Ark Options Strategy training. It's going to show you everything about the wheel strategy and how I take it to the next level with something called the Ark Options Strategy. And at the end, I give you all these free resources completely for free. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.